very familiar with microorganisms. So what is a microorganism? So microorganism is such as a
Prof. Husnul Azan, are you still here? Hello? Does anybody hear me, or is it me or Dr. Husnul Azan?
Can hear you.
Okay, so I think Dr. Husnul Azan has the problem with technical problem with his connection. Okay, while we are waiting for the Dr. Husnul Azan, I would like to invite our Dean of the faculty, Dr. Jono Suhartono, to give some talk maybe, or something to share with us while we are waiting for the keynote speaker to come back here. Please, Dr. Jono.
I'm sorry,
If there is anything to share about regarding our program or something, maybe today's program or
yes.
our next plan.
We will have a parallel room after this session. Which is when we start about 10 o'clock. We will have a 5 room to deliver for the audience to join. Each room will have a specific topics on it. So maybe we can. Excuse me. Did you hear my voice well, or?
Yeah, it's not clear, but you know. Okay, maybe from the floor, if there is something to discuss regarding our program, please, you are welcome to give your comment, question, or anything regarding our program. Okay, can somebody share the screen regarding our program today? Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Nuha. Thank you. Today we will have parallel session after this keynote speech. We will have 5 rooms In the first room with Dr. Kristiadi, room 2 with Bulita, room 3 with Dr. Roslan, room 4 with Dr. Jasman, and room 5 with me. And this parallel session will be held on from 10 until 11. So for anyone who are not the speaker, you are welcome to join any room that based on your interest. If you want to be in the room of mechanical engineering or maybe chemical engineering, you can choose any room that you like. Later on, the committee will give you the breakout room. Will facilitate you to enter any parallel rooms. And after that, after the break, yeah, we will have quite long break until 1:30. Then we will have a panel 6 in Zoom plenary session with Professor Joseph Horabik for Poland. And after that, we will also have another keynote speech from Professor Isvan Seres from Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Science. And again, after that, we will have parallel session. It consists of, we will divide the room into 5 rooms. And in this parallel session, the participant who are not speaker is also welcome to join any room that, any available room that you like. The second parallel room, parallel session will be held from 3 until 4 o'clock, 4:15 o'clock. And after that, we will have the closing speech by Dr. Dhani Rusirawan as our Vice Rector and Professor Isvan Farkas as our FOITIC International Chair. So, and this evening, after the closing, I don't know, maybe there is something talk session, discussion session, or like yesterday we have free discussion session, but I don't know today. If there is anyone who like to share something on the discussion, maybe you can ask for the committee for some extended time. I think it will be okay. And for we are still waiting. Is there any information regarding this, the keynote speaker? Is he have some difficulties or something wrong with his connection?
Yeah, I just contact the keynote speaker then, and yes, he has a problem with the connection actually. This, if you could wait for a moment, so let him to get in again in the session.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, we are still waiting for the speaker to solve his own problem. Okay, maybe if there is any comment from the floor, from the participant, you are welcome. Regarding the yesterday session, or you have any question to be discussed, please. You can also simply write down, post your question or comment in the chat box. Okay, for the student, for Eternal student, you can fill the form for your presency. The form is in the chat box. The link of form for the form is in the chat box, so you can. Okay. Welcome back, Prof. Husnul Azam. Hello, Prof. You are here already?
Yes. Okay.
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 Yeah,
Yes.
you can continue, Prof.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about disconnected. I'm not sure what happened actually.
No problem at all.
Okay. So can you see my slide now? Not yet.
Not yet, Prof.
Okay. Okay, maybe I'm in the slide. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm in the slide 4. I'm explain about the characteristic of environmental sustainability.
You are quit on the microbiology slide, Prof.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. This is a types of microorganisms such as a bacteria, virus, fungi, algae, and protozoa, and it has a lot of others microorganisms as well. And then, so now I would like to talking about the environmental sustainability. So what is environmental sustainability? This is a 5 characteristic of environmental sustainability. First is we need to shift to renewable resources. For example, today we're using petrochemicals. Perhaps we can move to biodiesel, which is more renewable and resources. For example, from waste, biodiesel, bioethanol from others kind of agriculture waste, and so on. Then second things, for environmental sustainability, the process or the manufacturing must protect health of ecosystem. For example, if we develop a plastic or any kind of packaging, that packaging must have a biodegradable, which is can avoid disturb ecosystem in ocean in the land as well. And then thirdly, the process or the product or the manufacturing is a must avoid excess of pollution. For if it's excess of pollution, we must have a treatment system before that's discharged to environment. Then fourthly, we must target welfare, not to GDP. GDP is a gross domestic product, value measure of economy and social welfare more than GDP. So it's a more to social welfare and economy to distribute well. And then fifthly, which is lastly, is intergenerationally decision, which is a make economy decision based on long-term consequences, not short-term consequences. Then for environmental management sustainability, it's have a few example. For example, is ecosystem management. We must have an ecosystem management, electronic stewardship, which is like e-waste, which is we recycling e-waste, like we harvest heavy metal from e-waste and recycling the plastic from e-waste as well. And then energy, which is we minimize the consumption of energy, or we move to a renewable energy, vehicle and fuel use, and many things. So for enhancing the environmental sustainability, it have three main elements. First is a sustainable feedstock selection. For example, from maybe you using a diesel, before this we using a diesel from a petrochemical industry, maybe we can move using a biodiesel is from cooking oil use or anything, any kind of waste. And then second things is a sustainable manufacturing process, which is maybe the process of manufacturing we can avoid using a chemical or avoid using a high consumption of energy. So that is a sustainable manufacturing process. And finally is a sustainable disposal methods or sustainable disposal methods, such as using a sustainable methods to dispose your kinds of waste. So today, I would like to share with you disposal waste via a biological process, which is can consider as a sustainability, environmental sustainability. So we take Malaysia as a model. In 2015, it was recorded that Malaysia produced until 40% of waste is from food waste, and others and other percentage is come from other waste, such state in in my slide. Then what is organic waste? We can see from the slide, it show that the highest percentage is organic waste. So what is organic waste? Organic waste or green waste is produced from organic material. It can biodegradable carbon chain from waste, which can be broken down into a carbon dioxide, water, methane, or other simple organic matters. And an example of organic waste included a food waste, garden waste, sludge, paper, carbon, and other things. So to dispose this kind of waste, it have a hierarchy. It have hierarchy, 5 hierarchy, which is the last preferred is a disposal, which is using a landfill or incinerator. We can see here the triangle. The triangle, and the last triangle, I mean the lastly is a disposal. This is the last choice, the last preference, which is using a disposal method. Disposal method is we using an incinerator or landfill without energy recovery. And then after that, we must move to another method, which is a most preferred, which is a recovery, such as we using a landfill or incinerator, which is with energy recovery system. And then after that, maybe we're not using a landfill or incinerator, maybe we can recycling some kind of waste, such as food waste, we can convert to organic fertilizer or chicken feed or animal feed or other things. And then the polymer and everything, maybe we can recycling, and paper also we can recycling to use it to make a new materials. Other thing is we can reduce. Reduce means is we reduce the using of that kind of materials. And finally is prevention, which is we avoid to using that material or less using that kind of materials. That is hierarchy of process or system to dispose sustainability, to dispose waste. So all of that methods, has a potential using a biological to reduce or to reduce or to dispose all of that kinds. So today I would like to show you that is how the microorganism as engineer work as an engineer. For example, we take a cyclomassive, which is a kind of yeast. It can convert, that is a substrate or carbohydrate, which is come from waste, with a nutrient which also can come from waste to become another product, such as ethanol. We can see here like many kind of strain. It's shown in the table. It have a 7 type of strain. It can reduce, that means a positive, that means it can consume, it can convert that kind of waste to become another products. So example of bioprocess technology for organic waste treatment is like anaerobic digestion / recovery from biological process, composting, biofuel second and third generation, and maybe now is a fourth generation, and then finally is a microfuel cell. Today I would like to discuss about this kind of technology. Like in Malaysia, this system in Malaysia, anaerobic digestion for organic waste treatment, this system available in Malaysia now, and then I'm sure it's a lot. But in Malaysia, they're using the same or the similar system, the similar equipment, which is they're using a food waste. They spread a food waste, and after that, they shredded the food waste and transferred to the bioreactor, this kind of bioreactor, and finally produce a biogas for cooking. And compost is produce a biogas for cooking, and at the same time compost as well. How it's worked, actually, the process of anaerobic digestion involved with a 4-step or 4 types of microbes. The first thing is with a complex waste or complex organic matter, which is contain carbohydrate, protein, and fats, is converted to sugar, amino acid, and fatty acid through a hydrolysis process, which is a bacteria or fungi or yeast. It's a produce enzyme. That enzyme hydrolyze carbohydrate to become a sugar, protein to become an amino acid, and fats to become a fatty acid. And then after that, the process of fermentation was occur, which is they're using sugar, amino acid, and fatty acid to convert to become acetic, volatile fatty acid, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide via a process of fermentation. After the process of fermentation, they're using the bacteria, other bacteria, which is we call it acetogenic bacteria, will take part to degrade volatile fatty acid, which is a long chain fatty acid, to become a short chain fatty acid, such as acetic and butyric acid. And finally, methanogenic bacteria will convert acetic acid, hydrogen, CO2 to methane and CO2 via a methanogenesis process. So that is overall the process of anaerobic digestion in the one chamber or in the one reactor. Now, I would like to talking about the wastewater treatment plant in Malaysia. Okay, in Malaysia, we have a complex variety of treatment plant. This is one of an example of wastewater treatment plant in Malaysia, which is recycling. We can see here we recycling a nitrate recycle. We recycling a lot of things, and we using a biological process as well. This is an aerobic and anaerobic or anoxic bacteria. And then after that, we have or we produce a sludge, which is we call it biosludge or sludge as well. But the problem is the sludge, how to we recover the sludge. So sludge from our wastewater actually can be it have a lot of nutrient, and then it can convert to others valuable product, such as if we using a method of pyrolysis, we will get oil and gas, and then after the process of pyrolysis, we burn in the certain temperature and certain condition, we can extract metal, and the ash or the char can become an absorbent. The absorbent can use a char, and the char and ash can be used as maybe in the water treatment plant, in the water treatment as well. And then if we're using an alkaline extraction, the sludge from wastewater, if we're using an alkaline extraction method, maybe we can extract a fat, and then for acid, then after that we follow the method of acid extraction, we can collect a metal as well, and finally crude proteins. So actually from sludge in Malaysia, we have a lot of nutrient or a lot of things we can, a lot of valuable products. Another things, the sludge or biomass from wastewater also, it can incorporating sludge or biomass into a brick, and then it also can act as an asphalt, as a binder, as for the roads. And then another component in Malaysia, what we have done with our food waste or organic waste is we convert as a compost. And I'm sure that is a very familiar in the world. It's just a convert for waste to compost for plantation. But in Malaysia or in Europe as well, they're using this concept to convert food waste or any kind of organic waste in the large-scale municipal composting. This is the example. The picture is in the large municipal compostings. This is which is produce a heat. We can see here there. And then this is, for example, the reactor or bioreactor for composting. It's controlled by computer, everything. It's a sophisticated system. And then other thing is about the biofuel, which is fourth generation now. The first generation, as we know, is from corn starch, and actually is a first generation. It relies on plantation. That is plantation is actually we fight with human for food. And then the second generation, they change for advanced biofuel manufactured from various types of biomass derived from agriculture waste and animal material as well. Third generation, they're using algae to treat wastewater and then harvest the algae and then convert to biofuel. And the fourth generation, they're using genetic modification organism, or they're using biofuel, solar, and so on. So first generation, second generation, third generation. Then I'm sure now in Malaysia, we most of technologies considered for third generation. We're not yet to go to the fourth generation, but certain researcher or certain company maybe have done to fourth generation, but mostly we are in the third generation of biofuel. Type of organic waste can be used to produce bioethanol, such shows here, like sugarcane baggage. And then we can see here, actually the highest of the ethanol production is empty palm fruit bunch fiber. Actually, I am sure Indonesia have a lot of this kind of waste. Empty palm fruit bunch fiber. It's actually Indonesia have a potential to produce high bioethanol as well. Okay. And then another technology is a microbiofuel cell, which is we using a bacteria to produce mimic like a battery. It's a mimic like a battery to produce energy. Like for example here, for example here is a microbe is a degrades. We can see here microbe is a degrade organic matter here, and then it's produce electron. The electron go to the anode, and then at the same time we are put membrane here, which is only CO2 or carbon dioxide, and hydrogen can penetrate the membrane, and then the electron will go to the resistant and finally go to the cathode, and it will produce generate electricity there. Then the concept was used in the sanitary tank in Malaysia as well. Certain places they're using this concept, which is they connect with street light, which is in the sanitary ponds or sanitary tanks. They connect with two probes, which is anode in the anaerobic condition in the bottom of the sanitary tank, and then cathode in the surface, which is a more aerobic condition. So then after that, the process is similar like I explained before. The bacteria anaerobic will generate the waste there and then produce the electron and finally create energy. So the challenging to use using organic to convert organic waste to wealth via a biological process is first is a yield and performance, which is we need to consider about yield and performance of the system. So before we introduce to the industrial scale, so we need to consider yield and performance, how to maintain and so on. And then second thing, we need to understand the process, how to maintain, how to ensure that it's in the optimum condition. And then thirdly is the optimum process and condition. We need to know, we need to understand what's the optimum process and conditions such as the temperature, aeration, dissolved oxygen, and so on. And then fourthly is because we are produce others products, so we need to consider about the human perspective as well to the product. For example, if we are produce a fertilizer from human waste or human, I mean from our wastewater, perhaps the fertilizer not using for not using near to human population. Maybe we can using to others plantation which is not near to human house or so on. And then others element challenging is most of process using a biological process required to use a specific equipment such as is a bioreactor or reactor. Okay, this is a types of bioreactor. For example, stereo tank bioreactor, air-lift reactor, fluidized bed reactor, pet bag bioreactor, and membrane bioreactor. So we need to understand which type of bioreactor we need to use for our biological process. Okay, that's all from me about the waste to wealth via a biological process. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Azad. Okay, for the audience, if you have any question, you can raise your hand or simply post your question in the chat box. Okay, the first question here, you can see in the chat box. In your opinion, which is the best method for waste management? And second question, looking for the low quantity of electricity produced in NFC, can you advise the large-scale use of it? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Okay, the first question is about my opinion about food waste management. Okay, as I mentioned before, in the hierarchy of waste management, which is okay, the hierarchy of waste management, maybe for food waste we cannot prevention or we cannot reduce. That is maybe it depends on our how much we want to eat or something like that. But maybe we can recycling. I think the best way is recycling. We actually for recycling we have a lot of method for recycling. For example, to produce to recycling food waste to become an animal feed, to recycling food waste to become a compost, to recycling food waste to become a bioethanol, or we can recycling for food waste to become another kinds of energy. That's I think the best method is recycling. And then the second question is looking at the low quantity of electricity produced in the MFC. Can you advise the large scale use of it? Okay. Yes, I agree with you. The low quantity of electricity produced in the MFC, but we must to understand, like I said before, the challenging is optimum condition. We must to understand. But if during my research, actually, we must to understand that our system a parallel or series process. If a series process, maybe is a series as we need to understand to how to integrate our MFC actually. Actually, it's a series process or parallel process. Maybe electronic people will understand what I'm saying. So if you do it in this series process, series lines, maybe it can produce a lot of energy compared to parallel process. Okay, is that I'm answer all of the question?
Yes, Prof. To the audience, simplicity. Oh, how can I say your name? I'm sorry.
Yes, my name is Simplicity. Yes, I'm satisfied. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, another question is regarding the future of bioprocess, Prof. In your opinion, in the future, will it be the main process for waste management, or you can see any other opportunity, any kind different opportunity from different method compared to the bioprocess?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, bioprocess is a quite big area. It's not only for environmental or agriculture bioprocess. It have like in Malaysia, especially in the University Science Malaysia, we have many area in bioprocess, such as pharmaceutical bioprocess, agriculture bioprocess, food bioprocess, like is we produce functional food, and then like we produce tempeh, we produce what's called belacan. I'm not sure in what's called in Indonesia, but it's a shrimp paste. Maybe it's the same things, belacan. And then environmental bioprocess. Actually, bioprocess is a quite big area. It can go to anywhere. Actually, it's a biomaterial also can consider it as a bioprocess as well. Okay, that's actually is even nowadays in Malaysia, bioprocess is quite new in Malaysia, but it's people with nowadays Malaysian people aware about the field of bioprocess now.
Okay, thank you. Another question, Prof. This is, I'm not sure, is can you share how to manage the mechanism of e-waste in your country? I don't know, e-waste maybe electronic waste or something? Because we are in Indonesia, we don't know how e-waste can be recycled. Maybe Ibu Amalia can explain what do you mean by e-waste here? Yeah, okay, electronic waste. Can you share how to manage the electronic waste in Malaysia?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, in Malaysia, actually, we collect all of the e-waste, such as a battery as well. We consider it as e-waste as well, and computer, the old computer, all of electronic parts. We collect everything, and then after that, we dismantle of all of that, and then we collect, we extract the metals there. The metal is a very valuable and can be recycling. Even actually in the electronic part, it have a gold. We can harvest the gold. Actually, the metal is gold, and we can harvest the gold. And then, but nowadays in Malaysia, we using chemical methods and physical methods. But in Europe, certain Europe country or in the world, they are aware actually it have a biological method to harvest the gold or what's called gold or metals from e-waste, which is they cultivate the bacteria. Maybe they grind shredded the e-waste, which is contain a metal. Then after that they culture the bacteria, so on. Okay, then after that, others material like a plastic from e-waste maybe can be recycling for as a plastic, and steel as well, stainless steel or other things as well. Okay. Thank
you, Prof. And the last question is for me. But who manage the electronic waste in Malaysia? Is it the government or some government link company or something? Because I just remember when I live in Malacca, there is any specific day then we are allowed to put our electronic things in our garbage. It's only in specific day. I don't remember. It's Thursday or Wednesday. I forgot. And then somebody will take it. And my question is, who manage it? Government or some like GLC or something?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, actually is the enforcement. The enforcement is come from government, but the government appoint a contractor to deal with this kind of waste. But the enforcement is from government.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Prof, for your valuable information. And yeah, we are very pleased to hear your speech and a lot of information that we can have. And yeah, we very appreciate for that. And thank you again for joining in our conference. And because we reached at the end of our session, I just can say thank you, Jazakallahu khairan, for your speech. Thank you very much, Prof. Azan, and you are welcome to join the room that available after this. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Azan and Mr. Fahmi. Now, Excellencies, audiences, the next agenda, the main agenda we are waiting for, parallel session. It will be part in 5 rooms. For those who join the parallel session, please be note that the session will be start at 10 o'clock. And we welcome to all participants to join each room. Thank you.
Indonesia, country nomor 8, G, Song, Datang, Makassar.
Prof. Husni, Prof. Azan. Prof.
Suara. Halo, Prof. Husnul, Prof. Azan. Halo, halo Prof. Azan.